We are moving into the top secret hacks, tips, tricks. Who's got it? Handing the baton.
Yeah, so this is going to be a conglomerate of some tips and tricks that I'm using, some stuff that Livia's using, some stuff that Gabe, Kiwi, we would love for you to speak to it when you see some stuff. I know for me, I've been really geeking out on my branded site recently. And so I want to share a couple of things that I'm doing. What I did was I found some people on Upwork and then onlinejobs.ph, and I had them build out. So this is Norfolk. I bought the rights to photos for each community. I think I did that on Shutterstock maybe, but I know the market and I know what different areas represent, what photos represent. And so then I hired someone, college student actually. He wrote custom content. He researched the city of Virginia Beach and then wrote a general high level overview, and then for each city wrote, I think it was like 6 pages of different content of different tourist destinations and restaurants. So this isn't as robust as doing YouTube videos, but it was neat for me because I was able to start to get some really great content for all the cities in my market, different restaurants. And then the last one I did was schools. So we use greatschools.com and their ratings and literally list all the top preschools, why they're good. And so then I hired somebody on Upwork to add some tags. That's a Google tracking thing. I don't even know how it works, but and so I'm able to see over the last week what people are looking at, right? So I see where people are searching for schools and things like that, and they got my Virginia Beach, and so you can see 13 people this week landed there. People that are looking at my Chesapeake community, and something else you see here is new condos for sale. So this is something that Kiwi taught me. What we did was we created a bunch of landing pages. And this is one landing page. The top of it just says 350 to 500,000 waterfront homes for sale in Virginia Beach. And then it's got photos of the local area, a write-up of Virginia Beach. And then right here, is a widget. See if I can find it. I messed it up already.
It's in there. You just got to go to the bottom and roll over it. It's a little code inject at the, go to edit.
All right, let's see. Wait, page content edit.
Go to edit. You should see at the bottom part of that now. Go to the bottom. Text. Yeah, code in there. Double click that.
And so this little snippet of code is sharing all the homes in Virginia Beach that have a minimum price of 350, a maximum price of 500,000, and then under amenities, it's waterfront and water view. And then the result is did I already click off of it? Yeah, I did. So let me cancel. And so the page itself just ends up always having updated properties that fit this specific search phrase. So you can see here where, this isn't a static list of homes. It's always updated. And so when I go back to this, you can see where people searched in Google for new condos for sale in Virginia Beach from 250 to 500, and they landed on my little landing page because it matched their search requirements. And you can see all the others, blogs that Ylopo adds to my website for free. This one's getting a ton of hits. Watch out, these neighborhood features can drag your home's value. 60 hits already. So just a really cool way to use the platform that's kind of baked into Ylopo, and then hiring out the content, right? So
when we executed on that, we created about 45 pages, niche landing pages, and then we tracked everything using Whitespark. So I'll just show you guys what sort of effect it's had on Barry's SEO once we implemented it around August, right? Big jump up, because, and all we did was create a whole bunch of landing pages. And you can also see now that he's now ranking, he increase of 100 rankings on Google, 100 basically means about 10 a page. So he wasn't even in the top 10 pages. Now he's number one for realtors in Virginia Beach, real estate agent in Virginia Beach, all of these terms. He was not in the top, 8 to 10 pages. He's now ranking on page 1 because he implemented just a bunch of these landing pages. The big difference is though, and this is, what we tested. Let me just bring up one of these ones. You can't just create a page with a headline like this and then inject the widget of all the homes like this. The real magic to get it to rank was this big chunk of text in the middle that was really well researched, with backlinks to other sites that have influence and trust by Google in those areas, such as the state of Virginia. They've got a Planters Peanut Center there. Who knew? But they've got all these cool things that we took the time to research and write about and link out to. And Google really rewards you for that sort of stuff because it's helping people out. It's giving them the information they're looking for. And then you monetize it by throwing all the properties in here. And again, these are evergreen. They're always going to update for you in real time because it's pulling from your search site. So I'm going to put into the chat again. I did a webinar on this about 1.5 years ago, showing you exactly how to do this. And I honestly recommend you oversee this project and you hire someone out like Barry did, because it's probably not the best use of your time, but it is very effective. But I would recommend putting an ad on Craigslist. Find a stay-at-home mom or a real estate agent who's retired, who likes to blog. Find a local blogger who directs really cool blogs on things going on in your area. They probably don't make much money. You can throw a bit of money at them, have them work on projects for you, creating these different niche landing pages. And everyone's going to be different, in Barry's area, there's some waterfront stuff. You might be more golf courses or farms or equestrian, whatever the heck it is. You want to go niche because that's all the stuff that Zillow and Realtor.com and that they can't really compete with you as well because they're not going to have all this really well-written local stuff. So go deep on the niche stuff. I like to think of it as, you're putting like little mouse traps out there everywhere. And you're not going to, one of these is not going to change your business. But if you've got a ton of them, that really adds up and it really helps with the overall SEO. So SEO is nothing to do about the platform you're on. It's not, we're not on WordPress, so I can't have SEO. That's just garbage. It's about what you put on the site and the quality of that and how consistent you are. You can't just throw up 1 or 2 pages and go, why aren't I ranking for SEO? My site sucks. You got to have a real strategy. You got to be consistent with it. I will also put a link into the channel. These are all the landing pages for Barry that we built. So you can share those with VA, share them with somebody and rip and repeat.
I hired, so I've got a college kid that does the content for the cities. He does them for $350 a city. Then I hired a guy in Egypt on Upwork to do all my tags so that I could actually track the conversion. And that was $100. So like, we're not talking about, because I don't want to have to be creative all the time. Like I'm just not interested. That's very tiring to me. But when you taught that webinar, Kiwi, that was when I learned that I could just, very specifically hire someone to put something valuable about my area and then and watch it start to build value. And so for me, like, this has been a really cool change because I also think my Google My Business page tends to rank high because of some of the stuff, because Google trusts me because of all the other stuff I'm doing. So it all feeds into it, and you don't have to, be an expert at any of this. You just have to know what to ask for. And so for me, it was like, I want Google tags so that I can go to analytics and see what everybody's looking at and what they did. I went to Upwork, I typed it, and then I found somebody that was like $20 an hour, took them 5 hours, and that was it.
So somebody asked about the analytics, getting the Google Analytics on the site. Is that something they already have access to for their branded site? What do they need to do to get that?
Well, I don't know about everybody else. For me, I gave someone I found on Upwork that I searched for Google Analytics tags. That was the phrase I looked for. I found somebody that had good reviews, and then I gave him my Squarespace login and I told him what I wanted, and then he just added it on there.
You're on mute, Kiwi.
Okay, yeah, let me show you quickly how you can add that to your branded site so you can track the analytics. If you want to be able to track the analytics on your search site, you've actually got to take the tag from Google, the little piece of code. And when you're creating Google Analytics, they're going to say, do you want to implement this yourself or do you want to send it to somebody? If you want to, and for the search site, you need to send it to our team because it's just, everyone has a search site and we don't want to mess with that because it's all performance driven. So they're very, very careful about what goes on there, but we give you complete access and you know, we want you to own your branded site and have complete control of this. So you're going to go in and you're going to go under, I believe it's under settings. Is it under analytics?
Advanced? I think it's under advanced, maybe.
Yeah. So they've got their own analytics, which shows up in here. But if you want the Google Analytics, I believe you go in settings, you go in advanced, and you go into code injection.
See, I didn't want to do any of this, so I just paid somebody on Upwork.
Yeah, and you just go in code injection and you stick it in the header. So you just create a little bit of space here at the top, and it's just a piece of code that Google's going to give you for tracking. And now everything that happens on your search site is going to be sent back to Google, and you can run reports and do all the analytics inside there, which is really, really important. But yeah, as far as this tool here, I like using this one for all the local stuff. So this is White Spark, and it gives you one of the really cool things is as well, you can track your competitors and how well you rank compared to them, how you're going up, if they're going down, where you are against them. Barry did have a competitor here, the Chantel Ray Real Estate Group. And when we started, they were pretty similar. And I was like, Barry, we're going to kick their ass, let me take over this. And for a little bit there, we were like, oh shit, they took over us. Oh, we're taking over them. It's a little bit of a race. We took off, they took off. But guess what? They started doing some shady crap. And I did shady crap about 10 years ago, and I got my ass kicked, and I'll never do it again. It's a stupid strategy. You can get a quick win. They got a quick win, but Google's going to call you out on your crap. They're going to find out you're cheating. And guess what? You're going to end up down here just like they did. But if you take the time to do it properly, dot your T's, cross your I's. No, cross your T's. You're going to be like Barry here. You will always be improving. And we took a big break after we did this with Barry. We just did it as a test, but now he's hired someone. He's back in the game. I mean, I want to show this on stage when we're at Summit again in April and show you where he's really gone from here as well. Because if this guy's consistently doing it, he's going to continue some really solid SEO growth here.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
And I
Love
don't have
it.
to be creative or interesting, or I can just put value and tell him these are things. And now that I have the tags, I can see what's actually getting organic results on my market in my website. And so now, now my wheels are spinning because I can just tell this kid, like, hey, write about military transfers or whatever, and they're going to do it. So kudos to Kiwi and the whole team for teaching me. But this is something that you need to know enough to be dangerous and know what questions to ask to hire it out. If you try to do it yourself, I'm just telling you, it's almost scary. I'm afraid to put code on my website. I'll just be honest with you. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to break something. So that sounds
You're never
bad.
afraid to break anything, whatever.
But yeah, so I'd love for the team to share, Livia, Gabe, I'd love for you guys to go into some of the stuff you guys are doing.
Yeah,
And
I want to jump into one, if you don't mind, leaving, just because I see a few people popping off and somebody's messaging me like, you promised to talk more about the open house and how you're using the tool. So I'm going to show you guys. Let's see. I'm going to go in a little bit deeper. So again, so the open house tool, just to make sure you guys have it, is just your domain, your branded site, and then open-house. All right. So in our market, the only way to get this is to pull in an MLS number. So just put in the MLS number of the home you're doing the open house on, throw in the agent who's going to do it, click the button. All right, this is the new version that's coming out in the next week or two. So there's two different ways of doing this. But what I really want to focus on that we're doing that's helping a lot is grabbing the QR code. All right, so I think what a lot of people were doing is they're going to this, they're putting it on an iPad or a computer. They're setting this out front. Let me just get rid of that. Setting this out front and then asking people when they come in, well, you can just go ahead and sign in. So on the older version, this form is already showing in this spot. There's no QR code there, but they're having to type in this information. You have to have Wi-Fi. You have to have an extra machine if you're wanting to use yours. So this redesign is made a lot nicer, so that people can just literally scan this QR code and then come into the house. Now, where I want to take it a step further, though, on this is how we're using it. All right, so what we're doing is, let's see, let me grab this over. Did that come through? Am I sharing my monitor or just the window? Can you see the flyer?
Yep, we can see it.
All right, so what we're doing, this is great. There's nothing wrong with doing this, but we don't want to take an extra iPad. Who has the iPad this week? What's going on? We don't want people touching our stuff. We might need our stuff. So what we're doing is, because we're already taking a flyer for the most part to the open house, is we're taking the QR code, and I'll just zoom in. It does not need to be very big. All right, everybody knows how to use a QR code now because of the last year and a half, 2 years, what we're living in. But we just take the QR code from this landing page. So if you're still on the old open house or the current open house app, all you need to do when you create it is just click in the URL, especially if you're using Google Chrome. And if you click right here, it gives you the QR code that goes to this landing page. I'm going to show you again. So if you're on the other open house tool, you don't have the new one, that's okay. Just once you create it, click in the URL, and then this is unique to Google Chrome. And then click right here on the QR code, and you can now download this code. All right, this is what you're going to want to go onto the flyer. All right, we're putting it on the flyer because, again, we already have it. And our whole point of somebody's coming into the open house is we want to capture their information. All right, so I like to role play a little bit. And our agents weren't doing this. We actually discussed this last week's sales meeting, and I really kind of got after him because it's such a great tool. So two people, Kiwi and Levy, are walking up to the open house. Obviously, I don't know their name or anything. And this is the scripting that I've asked our agent to use. I'm going to show you the results from this last weekend because she committed to do it. Is as they're walking up, hey guys, welcome to the Zion property. Hey, do you guys have an agent that's joining you by chance? And they mostly don't, right? So they say no. Perfect. Well, hey, since you guys don't have an agent with you where I can get their business card so we know who's been through the home, the seller has requested that we're tracking that we know everybody who's coming through the home. So if you don't mind, here's the flyer on this home. You can grab that QR code and just scan it with your phone. There's just a couple of questions there. The other benefit is it's actually going to be all the marketing photos. I couldn't fit them all on this flyer for you. So it's going to show you all the other photos, all the other information that's about this home. And then go ahead and you can come through. And if you don't even want to take the flyer with you at that point, you'll have it on your phone. All right. We're really taking we'd like you to sign in. This is the request. So true story, 2 weeks ago, did an open house on that flyer that I just showed you. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, seller calls up, actually seller's boyfriend going into the hospital, COVID. All right. The agents that weekend did not use the QR code. We had no idea who went through that home. They just didn't ask. All right. Just a call, a learning opportunity for us. All right. We talked about it the following weekend doing an open house. We checked with the broker. Everything was clean. They said it was safe. Did an open house. The agent commits to do an open house again, and worked on the role play with, or the scripting. And I'm just going to jump in here And we don't do a ton of open houses, but when we do them, I want to make sure we're getting everything out of it. It was Jan that did the open house. So here's what's great. All right. So as soon as somebody scans it, both instantly they're getting registered into your CRM as well as in Ylopo. It's sending them the full detail of that property. It's also putting them on a dynamic safe search. So you're getting a lot of benefits here. By scanning that, you're capturing their information. They're getting put in. She's already edited this because I don't know if you guys caught that. She only had 3 people come through. Both we classified as A leads talking to our lenders coming through, but she instantly had them. They both started instantly searching for homes, saving favorites. She didn't have to do anything. Plus we knew who they were, right? So there, to us, there's not a lot of point. Yes, open houses make your sellers happy, but we want to maximize the use of our time. Let's capture these people and get them in and get everything out of it. So everything is literally at that point captured on that lead profile, and it actually will show as an inquiry as well. So it has everything right there in one spot for it. She also didn't have there weren't a lot, but not one person said no. All right. And to me, worst case scenario, if somebody says no, they're probably not that serious anyway. And do you need to be walking through with them? All right. But use the tool, grab that QR code, throw it on the flyer. We're also throwing that if we are leaving flyers out front, we're putting that on there because our whole point is to drive them to the website because we want that activity. When they come to the website, it triggers not only the information in our CRM, priority alerts, it triggers behavior texts. You get all the benefits of everything other than just sitting there letting people walk through or asking them to sign in on a piece of paper. So one of the big things we're using on there is just getting that on the flyer.
Can I expand on that too?
Please.
So same exact approach we're using. QR code, get them to scan in, get them in. Then we're going into, I'm just going to quickly share my, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So in our CRM, we're using Follow Up Boss. We're doing a quick pre-planned email template. So the open house, thank you, first name for coming through. That video I showed in the last session of me thanking them for coming through. Notice I never said a name, so I can embed that. Thanks so much for coming through the open house. Listing details. You go to an incognito window, go to your search site and search for that property. Pull that link and put it here because you're pulling them right back to your site. 3D tour. I think that's how I get a lot of people to register. If you want to walk through virtually, we include the floor plan so they can see it. And then we also include a link here to some other open houses going on today, tomorrow. Again, incognito window, pull that link. And then we're sending this right after they go through the open house. The other kind of cool tool someone showed me, can you see the link tree?
Yep.
So Linktree has been pretty fun because you can get a QR code for this as well. So we have the sign in QR code, and then we have this little extra that we send to them where we show them the property. It pulls right back to the site. We show them the 3D walkthrough, property video, list of other open houses. We call it the collection of other waterfront homes. All we did is an incognito window, and we did a search for all waterfront homes in the area. And then this is my favorite, the About Mashpee pulls them right back to my site to tell them a little bit about the community. What makes this community different? What are the tax rate? What are the beaches? What are the schools? Census info. So an open house has become an opportunity to really stand out from the crowd by automating all of this. We feel
100%.
because so many of the people considering selling right now are going through open houses to eye the competition. And having done this last weekend, we turned up a woman who had always bought and sold with this other agent. And she said, I've never seen anyone with QR codes and links. This is amazing. And you even talked to me when I left. So it's a really cool option to just brand yourself. And all you're doing is capturing them with this QR code.
Yeah, and there were some questions on that. So yeah, I want to make sure, and thank you, Levy, that's awesome. Because one of the other notes on just some of the, I want to highlight are those community pages because I think they're underutilized. is yes, when you use that QR code, and you can go to just the property detail page, use the QR code on the open house, because again, you can customize the questions, what's being asked and everything. But yes, it automatically, as soon as they sign in, there's benefits, again, over having them use the laptop or anything. They're using their phone and they sign in. First of all, they're now in on their phone, right? They are now logged in. They've created an account. They don't have to ever log in again on their phone. So anything when they're checking their email on their phone or any of the push listings you're texting them, they're in. They're in on the phone. You like my new Ylopo cover, by the way? Secondly, yes, it's creating an account in Ylopo for them as well. It is sending them that property detail. It's putting them on a dynamic listing alert for that neighborhood. So now they're receiving other listings. Both those people that went through that open house that Jan captured as A's, the other one's actually a potential listing. I'm going to touch on that in a second. Not near that price point. That was the most expensive home in that neighborhood. They're a couple $100,000 below, but it was starting to send everything in that neighborhood. And then the other thing that Livia was just showing, I'm gonna pull it up again real quick, are these community pages. All right. And I love that you're adding that. Oh, I just flew right past them. I love that you're adding it in the follow-up email to them. And that's a template you could probably create ahead of time because everything is going to be the same for that open house. Now just customize that person. But these community pages are fantastic. And as you saw on hers, it starts showing the market trends, right? And we're seeing in Idaho a huge increase in inventory, right? So now you're sending them usable data that they can use. It's talking about either what you spoke about at the open house or giving you a talking point to send out. So these are community pages on your branded site that you can pull stats from. We highlight 4, but you can have as many of these as you want. You can work with your account manager and the branded site team to make sure you're highlighting all the different communities that you want for your market. So there's some great stuff in there that you can send out that's of value and that you're providing service, not necessarily trying to sell anything. You're just offering information and stats to everybody.
I love how Olivia actually went into her community pages and edited the descriptions we gave to you guys for your community pages. I would say 95% of you or more are still using the same description we gave for your communities. That should be one of the first things you go in and edit on your branded site, because you are the true experts in your neighborhoods. Go in and give it a little bit of your personal, flair, a little bit of you, a little bit of what makes it special, why people move here, and add in, a video of yourself talking about the community if you want to go to the next level. But there's a big opportunity there too, and that's going to help you also rank in these communities for the SEO stuff. So definitely update that stuff, because we can't, as a company, sit here and write about all your communities, but you guys can. And Squarespace is very, very, it's easy to be able to do that. If any of you need help, you can always ping me. But I also did post the video on how to do the landing pages before. It's exactly the same way.
And Kiwi can attest to how not good with anything website related I am. I ping him with a million questions, but this was easy to do. You go into communities on your Squarespace and you can see right where you edit. And then we created, and this I wanted to just quickly show you, because we're by no means marketing geniuses. There's so much more we want to do. But where we are a second home market, we found a lot of people want to understand why they want these areas. So we were saying it over and over and over again. What makes this town and these villages different? So we created a landing page right on our website, a driving tour that will take them literally on a driving tour through every village in the town, with certain stops at different businesses, and why we say that. I'm showing you that because we share that out to our database, and it has begun being shared by other agents with other companies as a driving tour of Falmouth or Mashpee. And the funny part about it is it's all bringing them right back to our branded site, where they get all the stats on real estate.
Yeah,
At the live summit in April, I will be doing a bootcamp class on branded sites, and we're going to be showing you guys how to get in there, to make these changes, how to add a lot of bells and whistles, but the real basic stuff, and then as well as a little more sort of nerdy, geeky stuff. So make sure I can't do it all here; it's just too short. But that's what the bootcamp's going to be really good for as well.
I'm going to share one more. I want some easy wins that you guys can take away. Idaho and a lot of MLSs do not syndicate coming soon, right? They don't show an MLS to where you can do a push listing or anything like that. And what I see over and over in our market and in other people's, and I, friends with a lot of agents on Facebook across the country, is, some of the coming soon photos, a little description, message me for more information. That's better than nothing. But you guys have Ylopo. You have these beautiful branded sites. There are some built-in pages. There are single property pages or coming soon templates that have been created. So again, Boise, when we get 2 weeks where we can market a property coming soon, but it's not syndicated. So I have to find a better way of doing it. So what I want to show you is the branded sites team basically just created us a coming soon landing page to where we can start posting them. So this is all done. Let me get into the back end really quick. Oh, this is not going to log me in. Please hold. Now we get to see if I know my password or Tom's password. Come on, be nice to me. Come on. Yes. All right. So they basically created me this template for coming soon, because I do not want to just post or rely on somebody coming in or messaging me. So what we do is we create this coming soon landing page so that when we click on this, now if we're going to do a reverse search in our database, if we're going to post onto Facebook or anything like that, first of all, I want to give them information on my website. I want them to be pixeled. I want to capture their information. I want them to have to register if they want more information. All right. What's great now is not only are they on our website where they can go other places and do other things, but now when I'm going to go and post this to Facebook, if I want to market it out there and start getting some traffic, what's great is now I can post this in here by just throwing that link. It's pulling the banner image automatically from that page. I can get rid of the ugly link that was up there, and now I can just talk about it. And instead of telling them to message me or do anything like that, they can now click on this and they are landing on my branded site. All right, this is where we want them. All right, so again, utilize their single property landing pages look a little bit different, but these are all pages that are in your on your branded site. Spend a little time, come to Summit. Like Kiwi said, he's going to do a full deep dive into this. But you have all these pages where you can do featured listings or coming soon properties and have them on your website. And as we're starting to see more inventory pop in some of these markets, we're getting these listings. Take every advantage you've got to get that exposure on them. But please be capturing every opportunity you can into the database, so now you know who they are and how to follow up and convert them. All right, trying to get into some of the questions here. The single property page is on your branded site. All right. So, and I think we have a training video. I don't know if one of the account managers can grab the link to that in the knowledge base. I think Kiwi actually recorded it. I watched it a while back. Or Rachel, yeah. So it like Lydia said, it is super easy in Squarespace. Our leads manager and I sat down and actually created some community pages, and we didn't break anything. I was shocked. But get in there and use those pages. We're actually in the process now too, because we don't syndicate sold data out, or it's not in the MLS. We're going to now basically replicate the communities page, but as a sold homes, and start housing all of that information on those pages just to have more in there. So reach out so you guys can look at how to get those pages turned on for you. Let's see, what else? Question, open house page again is your branded site.com/open-house. All you have to do is paste in an MLS number and pick what agent is doing that open house. So that's a big one to make sure you guys are utilizing. Please have them register. Just ask the question. If you don't ask the question, they leave. You never know. You've got it. Are you guys having them register? Lydia, are you guys doing many open houses? Do you guys use that?
We're doing open houses, but same thing. We're saying, because of COVID, the sellers have asked that everyone come through, register, but we also want to be respectful. So you no longer have to type in or write in, here's a QR code, just fill it out. And we're not even doing, so we have the flyers there, but we say, if you're not comfortable with it, we're not giving you all the papers. It will all come to you in an email as soon as you leave. And
Yep.
people are loving it. They're just like, thank you. We actually did the QR code on a big piece of paper, put it in one of those mounts, and that is just there when they walk in.
Yep, I love it. I mean, and ask if somebody messaged me, I was talking about this the other day, and they messaged me, well, are you lying? Is your seller really requiring it? Just have a conversation with your seller. You're already teeing up the time. You know, hey, Livia, you know, we want to make sure we're also capturing everybody that's coming through for safety reasons. If anything ends up missing, COVID, and to follow up to make sure they, what we know about that or what they think about the house. Are you okay if I mention that you have requested that we have everybody sign in? What's your seller going to say? I mean, of course they're going to say yes. All right. So it's just,
Sellers want to know who's come through their house. So when you tell them, with your permission, this is what we're doing, they're thankful. There's nothing worse than saying, who came through my house? Oh, some folks.
yes. So the one that I alluded to earlier, so the agent, she only had 3 people come through this last Sunday. 2 A's, both of them talking with our lenders. The third is actually somebody who attempted to sell a few years ago, decided not to sell, came through and said, we've been going to all the open houses. Nobody has ever asked us to sign in. Nobody has instantly set us up and sent us the information on the home. They were so blown away. They reached out to her actually the next day. She has a listing appointment later this week. So it was literally just following the process and using the tools. You never know who's walking through the door. And again, if they're not, to my agents, I'm like, if they're not willing to do it, it's not worth your time anyway, right? At least have them come through. And with the situation we had last week, we want to know who's coming through the home at all times. So, all right, I'm trying to scroll through questions. I know we're about ready for G and Howard them to jump in. It's getting late on the East Coast. Single property. Hey, thanks Kiwi for throwing that in there.
Yeah,
you
one
will
other
do-
thing that I wanted to share that I think is completely underutilized, it will just take 5 minutes. Oh, it's the reverse lookup by property. So when you are, I'm just going to quickly share my screen. When you're in your stars dashboard and you go through a property, let's say you're going with buyers and it's not for them, or you've heard about a property and you get to go through, or you have a new listing coming on, you do the reverse lookup. So if you think about this seller report, that's pre-listing. Think about this reverse lookup as post-listing. This is anything you've seen. You can log in. You type in the specifics of the property. If you've done a video walkthrough, going to the last session, without actually saying a name, use this as your cheat sheet of everyone you're going to send it to. It will download a CSV file when you put in the specifics. If you type in the address and it's too many people, so I'm just going to show a quick sample. You type it in, price minimum, let's say some. It is a 4-bed. You type in the basics and you generate the report. If it pulls up too many people, you can go more granular and bring it down and get more specific. You're going to take that CSV file and you're going to upload it to your CRM to add a tag. And then use that tag, depending on which CRM you're working with, but you're going to use that tag and you're going to be able to send this video you took to these people, and it looks like you previewed this property for them specifically. I don't think this is ever used enough, and I think it's a tool that is amazing to put you in front of the exact people you want to talk to.
100%. I'm going to jump in on that too. This is literally number 1 on my list, reverse search. And I'm going to show another way to get there. I love how Livia does that. It gets really deep in there because obviously all that activity is being shown or happens on your Ylopo site. But you know, not everybody has access to mission control. If you don't have that admin login, you need to find something. You saw a great price reduction. First of all, if you're an admin, and I'm going to show it in Follow Boss, you can do this in Firepoint as well. Just make sure in Follow Boss that when you go to tags under admin, by default, this will read turn on auto tagging, mean it's off. So click it so that it reads just like this. And what's going to happen is all the property activity is going to be tagged and sent to your CRM. So what we've done for a down and dirty quick way to do that is we've literally just created it as a safe search, reverse lookup or reverse search. And I just defaulted some price points in here. So I can now, if I just want to edit this, I can quickly edit. So maybe I want to look between 400 and 500,000. and I don't want, or I have Boise and Meridian. I'm just gonna show you a couple. I just put a couple in here just to basically show how I can quickly do it. And then instantly right there, I've got 367 people. I can hit select all, and now I can batch email them if I want to. So you can do that again in your CRM as well, but utilize all the data that is being generated on the Ylopo site and sent into your CRM to help you reach the right people. So new listings coming soon. We're not sending it to our entire database. I'm sending it to people who are clicking on homes in that area, in that price range. You're going to start seeing your unsubscribe rate go way down because it's something of interest. All right. And I love the addition of throwing a video walkthrough in there, and again, hitting it to the people that it matters to. So use that reverse lookup, new listings, price reductions, any of that stuff, and hit everybody at once. Let's see. I'm not sure on the batch email and follow up boss. I know my agents can do it, so I don't know if it's a setting that needs to be turned on. So I'd reach out to your account manager at Follow Up Boss on that, and that'll probably be CRM specific on how you guys are doing that. So let's see what else. We covered that. The only other one, just tips, tricks that we're doing really well that I want to share with you guys that I think is, Livia, I'm sorry, I just keep going. Do you have another one?
No, I'm loving this, Gabe. I'm telling you, notes I'm taking, you guys. Keep it coming.
So I want to show an example, guys. Raya, right? We talk about Raya conversations all the time. And what I think happens in our list, we're always looking at them, but I think people, we just turned on a big campaign, so don't worry about these ones. We're okay. We're weeding some out, but we want to make sure that we're taking over conversations. Where's that? Right here. So this is an example. I'm going to jump in to this conversation. Where you have to think about where these people are on their journey, right? So they start getting these messages from Raya. They're in a thread. They're on their phone, right? Picture where they're at. It's in thread. Right? It just keeps going. Sorry, we don't have the credit yet. Sorry, right? So she responds. AI is doing a great job. I like this area. I like this area. AI is still going. And what happens right around this area, right in here, when they start talking about bed, bath, price range, is agents are just jumping in and calling, or they'll text from their own phone. What I want to make sure everybody is aware that they can do, sorry, I'm trying to scroll down, is if you click on that stars link in Follow Boss, it's right here, so that it pulls up this, jump in and have a conversation by typing right in here. To the consumer, that buyer or seller, it's the same person that they're already having a conversation with versus a brand new thread that's just starting, right? So they're asking questions. Would you like to have our buyer specialist reach out? He can help you for this, right? Sure, but truthfully, our credit score is only this. Well, we just went from somebody's thinking they can't buy. Our lender can get them at 600, right? To be able to go in, but the agent, as you can see, is taking over the conversation, teeing it up. They've already started having this conversation with, they think, someone, and they're able to set appointments, right? So then when those happen in the CRM, we'll go back. Yes, 4 o'clock works. You can see that at 4:05, the agent calls, they have a great conversation, and now they're talking with our lender. All right, so I just want to make sure one of the tips and tricks that you guys have at your disposal is when one of these buyers or sellers are engaging with Ryan, having a conversation, keep that conversation going. Don't cut it off too quick and then just send a text message from your cell or from your CRM, because you have to think about how that looks on their end. It's a complete different thread and they don't know who you are. So take a moment to tee up that handoff, and you're going to start seeing a lot more conversations and appointments happening because it was all part of a flow. So just make sure you're going into stars and having that conversation with them in line with what they're used to.
Gabe, there's a question on how to set up the automation for when we do an open house, how to bring them back, and the incognito window, what that means. Do you want to show that from your side, or do you want me to show how to do why we say an incognito window?
Either way, why don't you go ahead and show it here real quick. So because I saw, do you have yours pulled up? Let me see. I just closed up if you got it.
Yep. So when you're in Chrome and you go to new incognito window, can you see the incognito window now? I want to make sure it's sharing. Okay. So when you're in it, if you want to send this, like at an open house, you're doing an email template you want to send out after, You want to go to your search site, and then you're going to search for properties in whatever area your open house is in or property is in. The beauty of doing an incognito window is when
Real quick, Livia, sorry, the incognito didn't pop up. I think you might, it's a different browser, so I don't think we can see what you're seeing.
Okay, let me see if I can switch to share.
Sorry.
Thank you. So can you see this now? Okay,
Yep.
so what I did is I went to my search site and then I typed in wherever I'm doing the open house, so whatever zip code you're in, and then you're going to pull up properties in the area. The value of doing it in the incognito window is you can copy and paste this. It's not linked to a specific user. So in the incognito window, whoever opens it up on their browser, it brings them to your search experience with these parameters. And you can get granular with it. One that I love to do is go with the open houses and use that as the share. A lot of people say, why are you going to tell them about other open houses? Because my confidence in telling them about other open houses adds value as an agent, as opposed to the agents that think if they don't tell you, you don't know. They still have access to these other open houses. So I'd rather them be coming back to my page to find out the data. So this, you would just copy and paste this into that email template. So you'd thank them for coming through. You could do a specific, you could actually pull up the, if we cleared this and pull up the actual property. Let's say this was the property that I was doing the open house at. Here's the listing info. Copy that link. Copy the link to the other open houses and copy a link to why Mashpee. What is a community? Do your branded site link. Remember, all these in a follow-up email, just bring them right back to you. And it's a way to brand you. And it's very, very simple. Incognito window, copy, paste.
Talk a little bit about how and why you use Linktree with this.
So Linktree, the reason I use it is I can set it up as another QR code. And all it does is create, oh, sorry, it's not pulling it up now. It creates a clean cell phone-esque page that links all my branded sites there. So it's really easy. You can share that with folks. You can airdrop it. You can have a QR code. So what I like to say is, you know what, as you're going through the open house, here's the property info, scan this QR code. We also have a QR code that will tell you more about the restaurants in the area and the schools and the lifestyle. If you're interested in that, click on this. That Linktree page just delineates these different links in a really clean format, and Linktree is free. So you can set this up, you adapt it for whatever page you want to share, but it's a very clean way to get them to you without looking like you're getting them to you.
There are so many pages. I love that, Livia, and you're really utilizing a lot of those, and we're just starting to in a lot of the, especially our text campaigns and everything. I mean, you're looking for something useful, go to the blog page that Ylopo's created. There are so many articles that are getting put on that site. If you guys are wanting something useful to say and you don't want to have to create it, go there and use all these pages. Livia has done a great job of showing how to leverage a lot of those. So
Yeah, great use of QR codes. You should do, I just have this crazy idea. You should do a t-shirt with a QR code on your t-shirt, and people will just like, they'll just scan you and it'll be like, world's greatest. Yeah, okay. World's greatest Cape Cod real, take you right to your landing page, real estate agent. There you go. Have everyone walking around with your QR codes, right? Your t-shirts.
I give
Dave
them
loves
away.
that.
Here's a QR code. It's amazing because if you think about it, I think sometimes we hold all this data and we think we can't give it out. Ylopo's enabled us to give it out without looking like we're scared of them having this data. They're getting it no matter what we do. Have the confidence to provide it because you're differentiating yourself as an agent and you're showing the sellers what you do and you're showing the buyers why they can trust you.
Yep. There's so much. They're eating up the content. And again, you're now driving them back to your site, right? This is organic site coming in. This is traffic coming in. This is going to trigger priority alerts. It's going to trigger behavior text. Like getting that traffic and that engagement back on your site fuels everything.
And they share it, you guys. They share this data. they might be looking, but then when they say, oh, click on this link because it will show you the other open houses to their friends. I had 2 couples come through, one come through first and then the others. And I said, do you want to scan this? It will tell you more about the area. She said, oh, my friend that was just through texted it over to me. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. All right. I think we're, let's make sure we didn't miss any questions here. Is there a way to create a QR code to your website? Yeah, any site, again, if you're using Chrome, anytime you just click up in that URL, you can be on any page. It doesn't matter. Click on that URL, it'll give you a QR code that you can download that goes to that page, exactly what you're seeing. So any of these pages you want, just literally click right into into the URL and you can see it right there, right there.
Boom.
There you go.